Hey everyone, welcome to F3 Motorsport. Today's video is a little bit of a different one. I took some notes while watching the F3 Sprint Race, and I thought I would talk through a bit of what happened, some of the key highlights, and just kind of a reaction to the race. So first of all, we had Dominguez stalling on the outlet on the formation lap. Bit of a weird formation lap. A lot of people stopping and starting, so it's clear to see some of these drivers not being too familiar with the clutch system and stalling. Dominguez, I think, was one of the ones who was unlucky enough to be caught out by some weird moves by like Gusty and some other people out the pack, and just couldn't get going again. Fair enough. Then we have Gusty having a bad start from pole position to the mid pack. I think he's going to be disappointed, but I feel like every time in one of these F2, F3 races, we're going to have one of these top drivers not having a good getaway and fall into the mid pack. And as it's Monaco, you can't work your way back up. So yeah, we had Sten Sean going into pole from the first corner. Then we have Headley and Ramos collision in the midway through the first lap. I think there's always going to be something like this. It's a small collision. People trying to make moves on the first lap as it's the best opportunity to in the whole race, given people are on different lines, walnut tyres. So a bit unlucky for both of those drivers, and two VAR cars out in the first lap with Dominguez and Ramos. So unlucky for them too. Then we had Solov kind of boxing after a couple of laps coming into the pits. Looked like an issue with his engine, so hopefully he's got it all fixed. They had a bit of like a practice session going out afterwards. Well, not afterwards, but like putting him back out into the track, a lap behind, running. I think he got one of the fastest laps, so it shows that his car's fine. They are more comfortable going in tomorrow, but it'll be interesting making sure that he has a good engine for tomorrow, seeing as he's on pole. Sharp, he had a good open lap. He went from, I think it was 13th up to 10th, overtaking one of his teammates in the Polish guy, Belinsky. So a good starting lap for him. All of the Rodens doing a lot better than they did last year. And even at the start of the season when we weren't in Europe, but it seems like we're coming back to Europe, Roden have had a bit more time developing the team, and they seem like they're doing well at the European races. So hopefully this continues, because I think Roden one of my favourite teams, being from New Zealand. So back the New Zealand team do well for them to Barcelona and the other races around Europe, Austria and such. Then we had Leon and Corte also retiring with some damage that they picked up and some little bit of tussles, so they were out the race. A bit unlucky, but helps some of these other drivers a bit out the points come up. Then you had a Stromstead puncture when he was trying to overtake. I think it was he was trying to overtake Dufek into turn one during after the safety car, and then Benavides, he went right into the back of Benavides, got the puncture himself. A bit unlucky. I think it was a good opportunity for overtake, but it's just one of the ones where he didn't brake hard enough. And if there wasn't the car in front, he'll be fine. But there was car in front, so he had to go into the back of him. Second in championship, he's not going to be too annoyed, but also a little bit annoyed because he threw away some you have to make moves trying to go into Monaco. You know you're not going to get any points unless you make moves, so he had to try something. Then we have Del Pino cutting the corner, first lap, turn one, got a 10-second penalty for that. So every driver now knows F1, F2, F3. If you cut that corner on the first lap, you're not going to get away with it unless you come out where you were when you went into the corner. So he think he gained one position, but he didn't give that place back. So you have to be very accurate of how many cars have you actually overtaken, and how when to give them back so that you don't fall even further behind. It's gonna be a risky battle. So I think it's gonna be interesting with these larger packs in F3, in F2, where there's more cars, and it's harder to know how many positions are you giving back so you can avoid a penalty. So interesting one to watch out for the rest of the weekend in all series. Yeah, I think in general it's hard to overtake. I think we always knew that coming into Monaco, but especially with no tyre offset. I think in the other series you have different kind of strategies and options, especially with F2's feature race having a pit option, or the not pit option, just pit. So that makes more overtaking opportunities available. Same in F1, there's going to be 2 pit stops mandatory, so there's more overtaking hopefully, but with the tyre offsets. But in F3, you don't have to pit, so there's going to be no tyre offset. It's going to be even harder to pit. So maybe a different strategy, going with a slightly harder tyre and trying to defend from at the start so that you can tack later on into the race when all the soft tyre runners have kind of gone out a bit and worn out their tyres. Apart from that, we had Boyer collision, Boyer holding off all the 3 Rodens for most of the race until the last lap, where he kind of backed off into Voisin head back off himself, which allowed Sharp to overtake Boyson and move up 1/5 place from 10th into 9th. So one of the drivers of the day. I know he didn't get the top positions, but Sharp going from 13th to 9th, all on track. It's quite a good outcome for the young Kiwi who was struggling at the start of the season in that Roden team, who was also struggling. So good points for Roden and for Sharp, but we had Stenshawn with the win, and then Van Hoopen, and then we had Van Hoopen in 3rd place. So no change up front after the Gusty dropped back from pole. So fair enough, but also Gusty's going to feel bad because he knew that if he actually got away well, he would have won the race most likely, but he didn't. So Stenshawn and the other two got the points and got the podiums. So well done to all the drivers. I think it's a difficult race weekend to try and improve yourself on track, but you just have to keep it clean and keep it on track. Try and make moves when they come to you. Anyway, thanks for watching. It's a different kind of video, so let me know down in the comments if you enjoy this kind of stuff. Peace.